Hi, everybody. Welcome to Good News Program. I'm Pastor Rick, and this is my lovely wife,
Cheryl.
And remember that the good news is we talk about hope for the future, healing for the past, and honesty for today. Now, before we were doing the show, I got real casual, and I've got to be honest with you right now. I'm struggling with
And I just got out of church.
She got out of church, and I have shorts on, and I have, because it's very nice out, and we're getting ready for 4th of July, and I was like, Cheryl, are you going to wear your coat?
Well, as I said, because I had to put a little blurb up, because now we're actually filming on Sunday, but I put in there that we have got a crazy, crazy week coming up. So I have been running around the building here, so since church this morning, I haven't made it home for more than like 10 minutes, so that's why we're a little...
And since we talk about honesty, we sat around Friday night watching movies, just kind of a little bored and everything. We have no idea why we didn't shoot the show on Friday. We didn't think about it. And then we got up on Saturday. We went into town. Now, going to town here, when you live in Blue Eye, population 3.5, I don't know what it is, but... And we took off and went to Brands, and then we came home and it was like...
And I think, remember, I had to go into work for a little bit on Friday, and to be honest with you, I was just too darn tired.
Yes.
So I will be honest and say...
So this Sunday and next week we're pretty busy. What do we got going on? I'm emceeing in an outside tent with their entertainment. I'm doing 3 shows. And then you're working
every night for the speaker that's doing this nightly services.
And we're going to be busy and stuff like that. So we're going to
throw us some extra grace. We're going to try to get our shows still up on schedule, but if we don't, I will certainly put a little bulletin up there and throw us some grace, and we'll get back on track next week for sure. Yes.
So we love you. And our show today, the Good News Program, I love this word. Here it is. What's that say? Integrity. Now, do you remember okay, I'll have her read that before.
Oh, the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles, moral uprightness, the state of being whole and undivided.
You know how I've always said what integrity to me is the word integrate. And I've always believed that integrity is integrating the things you say with the actions you do. I always...
In the nutshell.
Yeah, it drives me crazy when somebody says, I'll call you this afternoon, and they don't call you.
No.
And I pray to God, you forgive me if I've done things out of having no integrity, but to me it's just, yeah, I'll call you later or something, just so, I like a person who says, I can't promise anything, but yes, I'll try to call you back. Well, now you're not committing to something. Because I don't think some people realize sometimes that you're expecting somebody to call you back.
Yeah. Or if you say, can you do me a favor? I mean, I think 99.9% of the time I will always say, what is it?
Yeah.
Because I don't want to say yes.
I can do it, and when I can't.
And then when I find out what it is, it's not something I can do.
Yeah. And so I think integrity, and here's the sad thing about why people don't have integrity many times, is people just want to be loved by everyone. And they're afraid. I'm going to promise you things to make you feel good. And we used to say this. Sometimes people will promise you things just to see the reaction on your face.
Yeah.
They'll look at you and say, "I'm going to give you $50,000."
Oh,
my gosh, thank you so much. And you never hear from them again. And
yeah,
we've had people come to the church.
We actually had somebody that did that.
Yeah, promised us that in the church that they were going to give us all this money.
A lot of money about like that much,
wasn't
it?
Yeah, and it's like it's understandable, but I'd rather somebody doesn't get that little reaction from us, and just show integrity. I can't promise you anything, but there's a deal that may be coming down, and maybe I'll be able to do this for you. But it's like I want to, I don't feel good about myself, so I'm going to promise you something so you can get all excited and pretend you like me. But in the long run, you're going to burn a bridge, and that's why I think integrity is so important. You got a verse here in Titus chapter 2, verse 7. It says this.
Show yourself in all respects to be a model of good words, and in your teaching show integrity and dignity.
I really believe in, when people do things that, we need to offer grace. But remember this, the law came through Moses, but grace and truth came through Jesus Christ. Look, we give each other grace, but there's a truth of how life works. And let's face it, the Bible clearly says you reap what you sow. And if we're going to make promises to people, then we hold through our promises. If we're not, then it's okay to say to somebody, I can't promise you anything, but, you know, but here's some, Cheryl's got some great posters.
Good
And by the way,
sayings.
I want to tell you something. I'm the one that usually puts Bible study together, and Cheryl puts the Good News Show together, and she does a great job of doing it. I'm very grateful that we work together as a team to try to get things done. And,
Yay, team.
you know, we didn't coordinate our clothes. I changed out of my
Well, we
church
got
clothes.
black.
Well, I look good in my church clothes. I'm just in shorts right now, and it's a little
Well,
warm
we
in
can't
this.
see there, so it just looks
Yeah,
good.
actually,
You're
I'm not
black.
wearing any pants at all. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
And the people in,
Well, I am not wearing
the
any
people in
pants.
our studio just passed
Yes,
out.
yes. No, I am not wearing pants. I'm wearing shorts,
Shorts.
but not those types
Short
of shorts.
pants.
Short pants. Thank you. Here's a great poster. Good saying
Good
for today.
saying.
Here it
Oh
is.
my gosh. He grants a treasure of common sense to the honest. He is a shield to those who walk with integrity. And that's from Proverbs.
Proverbs, the New Living
Dun-dun.
Translation. Integrity. Here's another one.
Integrity is choosing your thoughts and actions based on values rather than personal gain.
I love that. You know, the gain of having somebody go, oh, you know, I'm smiling at you because you're going to do something for me.
This one looks like it's from Proverbs as well. Better is a poor man who walks in his integrity than a rich man who is crooked in his ways.
There you go. Your integrity is your character.
Wisdom is knowing the right path to take. Integrity is taking it. That's true. Integrity, this is like
C.S. Lewis.
C.S. Lewis, the father of everything. Integrity is doing the right thing even when no one is watching.
Yes.
There are some things that there are some things that money just cannot buy, like manners, morals, and integrity. There's the money tree. Great men and women are not extraordinary people who do extraordinary things. They are ordinary people who do ordinary things with integrity. Wrong is wrong even if everyone is doing it. Right is right even when no one is doing it.
I love that. That's so good.
Your beliefs don't make you a better person. Your behavior does. Integrity means that you are the same in public as you are in private, says
you go.
Joyce Meyer. Dun, da, da, da.
That's it in a nutshell. You know, we used to make a joke all the time that, you know, your kids are watching you, but you'd be sitting there screaming, you know, people are screaming and hollering at their kids, and then the phone rings, and you go, hi, it's Pastor Rick, and they're like, oh, hi there, how are you? And the kids are like looking at you going, what happened to the angry lady? Or
Remember the time we went to, I think, to do a home visit, and we walked up on the porch and we could hear all the noise.
screaming
And we were like, do we
hollering.
knock on the door? What do we do? And so we knocked on the door, and all of a sudden it got real quiet. Hello!
And they were just so hospitable, like nothing was going on. And, you know,
you're
trust
like-
me, we've had our issues, you know, that we have. And but I'll tell you this, you know, when I did a little teaching a few weeks ago on Ephesians and about the helmet of salvation, and I love this. I'd never heard this before. And instead of calling it the breastplate of righteousness, it was the breastplate of right living. And when you do things with integrity and you do things right, your confidence level goes right through the ceiling, because you have nothing to fear. Well, speaking about someone who's only 15 years old, we weren't speaking about it. It's my transition.
That was the smooth transition.
And I see her growing in integrity all the time. I'm going to go to my camera. Since we have 3 cameras, I might as well utilize it. So I look at that camera, and she
Dun-da-da.
switches it over.
Oh.
Here is, how do I look on my camera? I look okay here?
You look pretty good there, baby.
Not bad for a 30-year-old, huh?
Yeah.
Twice
wow.
over. But anyway, by the way, hi to everybody. I don't know if I've said hi to everybody. You all know who you are. I miss you, love you, and good to have you with us. But
Today's your sister Judy's birthday.
my sister Judy's birthday. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Judy. Happy birthday to you. Well, here's somebody else that I absolutely love. Here's my lovely little daughter, Olivia, and with the movie of the week. Go ahead, Olivia, take it away.
Thanks, Dad. And now for this week's Good Movie. This week's Good Movie is Hope Bridge. It's about where there is hope, there is life. Faith and determination will keep you going, and your voice matters and your life has a purpose. Great movie, so go check it out. Now here's my mom and my dad.
Ah, lovely child. That's a good movie. Thank you, Liv, for doing that. And now I will do the pleasure of introducing my lovely wife with her segment called Good Thinking. Good works.
Yes, good thinking, good works, and as always, my favorite slide is believe there is good in the world and be the good. And my story this week is called Monarch School. Now, homeless kids across the country face unimaginable obstacles when it comes to something as simple as trying to attend school every day. Fortunately, one school in San Diego is helping relieve the burden by providing stability and a number of special resources for its students. The Monarch School is one of a few schools in the United States that caters specifically to kids who are homeless, giving them access to showers, laundry facilities, meals, after-school programs, and of course a full roster of academic classes. How can children focus on school if their tummies are growling, their shoes don't fit, and they don't even know where they're sleeping the next day? Well, Monarch School has been described as a public service at its best by outside agencies. The name Monarch was even chosen by the students, referring to the transformation of the butterfly emerging from a cocoon. The program has been so successful in San Diego that another sister program has now just opened in New England. Isn't that cool? Look at all the people there.
That's awesome.
Isn't that great?
That's just so awesome.
And then here's my next story. It's called No Horsing Around. Well, there was no horsing around for this man who stopped at nothing to honor a fellow veteran. Richard, a 66-year-old man from Connecticut, often attends veterans' funerals with his riderless horses as part of a tradition to honor soldiers' service. In this custom, a horse with boots set backwards and no rider in the saddle follows the casket. The 66-year-old man who served as a Marine in Vietnam was set to attend a funeral of a World War II veteran named Norman Varney this past Saturday. But the night before, he realized that his horse trailer was damaged and he would be unable to cart his horses there. Well, that setback didn't stop him. He alternately walked and rode 2 horses through the night, traveling more than 15 miles to make it to the funeral. The Marine Corps motto is Semper Fidelis, Latin, which means always faithful. I have a lifelong commitment to adhere to. Once a Marine, always Marine. Sergeant Norman Varney was in Iwo Jima in World War II, the most famous battle in Marine Corps history. I considered it an honor to be in the presence of such people. I am quite sure he would have done the same for me if the situation was reversed, said Richard. Police from different towns along the walk escorted him during his trek. Later on, Ken Yaris, who owns a horse trailer, spotted Richard, his horse Melody, and his friend's horse Sassy. Yaris got out his trailer and helped them make the rest of the trip, allowing the animals even to take a break at his house and eventually bringing them to the funeral service. Yaris said, I never got a chance to serve, but someone like that who continues to give, well, you just have to help him. For the humble man, Richard says his actions weren't anything out of the ordinary. He simply said, I gave my word and I like to be a person of my word. And that, my friends, is integrity.
Wow.
And then my last story is called Service Hero. Figo, an 8-year-old golden retriever, was crossing a street in Brewster with his legally blind owner, Audrey, when a mini school bus approached them. The dog was walking on his owner's right side, but switched sides immediately and jumped between his owner and the vehicle, witness said. Both the dog and the owner were struck by the bus. The Brewster Fire Department cared for the owner and her companion, whom witnesses said did not leave her side. He was trying, even though he was so hurt so badly. You knew he only had 3 legs to get to at that time, but he was still trying to get to the blind woman as much as he could. Figaro is still recovering at the clinic. He's caused a lot of attention, cards and letters of good wishes praising him for his being a hero. In fact, another hero entered the story yesterday when an anonymous donor paid for every one of his veterinary care bills. So kudos to a real service hero. And thank you. That's my good works for this week.
Oh my gosh. She says just before we got on the air, she's like, you aren't going to cry at this one. And, I'm like, okay. I'm going to be fine. Well, here's a good verse for today, Psalm 119, verse 1. Here it is on the screen as my lovely wife reads it to you.
Joyful are people of integrity who follow the instructions of the Lord.
Yes, there's a verse, I don't know if you used it in here, but it says, we're not just hearers of the word, but doers of the word, which is in the book of James. Here's what Billy Graham has to say about integrity.
Integrity means that if our private life was suddenly exposed, we'd have no reason to be ashamed or embarrassed. Integrity means our outward life is consistent with our inner conviction.
There you go.
Isn't that cool?
Proverbs 2:7.
He grants a treasure of common sense to the honest. He is a shield to those who walk with integrity. That was one of our good sayings, but there it is right there as a verse. So it's in the Bible.
There you go. And here's what Billy Graham has to say right here.
The truth is that others judge us. More than that, they evaluate the truth of the gospel by what they see of our lives and our integrity. We are not only accountable to God's people, but also to our Master.
Yeah. We had a guy spoke in church. We had a guest speaker today in church, and he kept talking about beliefs. And it's really neat that he stayed real focused on one topic because it really had us looking at what do you believe. And as we, we're going to be going through some very challenging times here in our world. Most pastors, preachers, prophets all come in agreement. Even politicians are saying that we're headed for some challenging times. And what you believe is going to be very important. I know that everybody believes something, but as for me and my house, we believe the Word of God, and we're going to do everything we can to believe it. When we make our trip to Florida, sometimes in
first week of September,
this is where our beliefs are really going to come into play because when you're comfortable, you don't have to step out in faith. You just keep doing a little, do a little routine, and you do. But when you step out like we are and going someplace, and where are we going to live, and what are we going to do, and you're really trusting God, and this is where you have to integrate your actions, your speaking, whatever, your beliefs with what's really in the Word of God, and that's really called integrity. The whole world is watching. We as Christians, people are watching us, and we can teach on love and not be loving. And we can teach on love and be loving, and because it's difficult to be patient, because when we're patient on the outside, we're kind when we're patient on the inside, we're kind on the outside. It's really neat to know all the scriptures on complaining, but it's a whole other thing to not complain. It's difficult.
And especially when you come under pressure or any type of stress, it's easy, like, the joke you always say, it's very easy to be patient and kind when you're sitting by yourself in a room. When you get around other people, then the pressure starts to be on. And when we're going on this, what we call our faith journey, it's, like you said, it's very easy to sit where we are now and say, oh, yeah, it's comfortable, we can be at peace, and when we now pick up the truck and we're driving in the van and we don't know where we're driving to, are we going to be able to have that peace? I
will tell you, we have a speaker here who's the author of a couple great books. One's called The Harbinger, and the other book is called The Mystery of the Shemitah. And he's a Jewish guy, become Christian. His name is Rabbi Jonathan Kahn, and he had this great analogy in the service. He was here last week. And he said, whenever you're faced with two roads, he said, if you want to reach the higher ground, he said, it's just very simple. What you do is you look right, you look at the road at the right, and look at the road at the left. And he said, whichever road is highest, he said, take that road. And not only is that work in the physical realm, but I think it works in the spiritual realm. You know, if I'm going to be called to do something, what's the higher road that I can take? You know, people may make up lies about you. People may say things about you. But what's the higher road? I don't think it's an accident when people say, I want to get even with someone. Because to get even with them is to do exactly what they're doing to you. It's easy when people judge you to judge them, but we as Christians, when you read things that Christians are called to do, it's hard to turn the other cheek. It's hard to, when a soldier asks you to carry your pack, you know, for 1 mile, carry it for more miles. I mean, you're talking about, that's what it is. That's what true integrity is. Well, I can't believe that they said that about me. What can't you believe? You know, the Bible says in Isaiah, talking about Jesus, that he was oppressed and afflicted and said nothing. Jesus took the high road. And that's why today he sits at the right hand of the Father. And he's exalted. His name is exalted because he always took the higher road. There's many things that he could have done, but he always looked at the two roads. And understand that Jesus taught on these two roads. He said one road's very wide. There's very many people that as times get tougher are just going to complain, or they're going to whine, and they're going to
try to take the easy way.
Try to take the easy way. Well, the right road, the higher road, is narrow. It's a very difficult path. But we just finished a series here called Driven by Eternity, and I hope that you're always driven by eternity. That you never look at your decisions here today. It's not about what's going on today. It's about what you're deciding to do with eternity. And I will tell you that we have spent the last couple years really working the hardest we've ever worked at taking the high road. And I'm not sure that we have riches beyond belief, but I will tell you one thing that we can say for sure, and this has to be with you guys, is that we are very rich in friends. My daughter and I watched a movie the other night called the stealing or the kidnapping of Mr. Heineken beers, and he said, you have a choice in life, because you can either be rich in money or rich in friends. And he said, but you can't have both. And I know he's really right, because we've gone down the road of being famous and having fans, and we had no friends. But I believe right now, as we leave here, along with you people in here, we're going to leave Morningside being three of the richest people in the world, because we've made such wonderful friends. We have a lady in the audience. We have no one on camera, so we can't flash to her. She's a good friend of ours. Her name is Marion, and you know, we will have her as a friend for eternity. And she's a woman of integrity, and we've met a lot of people here that are, you know, I know you hear stories about this place, but you know, there's good and bad wherever you go, but for the most part, people here have been absolutely, absolutely wonderful. But I want to close the show off with thanking you, those of you that watch, our friends. Not our fans. We have no fans. We have friends. It's we almost can name you by name. There's only a handful of you, but we'll always be grateful.
That's when you know they're true friends, because it's consistent.
Yeah, you're just here, and we know you by name. And I don't know if we'll ever be a large ministry. I know that we always will have. We'll probably.
Our ministry is large in heart.
Large in heart. And you guys have kept us alive, and those of you that have made us promises have come through with your promises, and we'll always, always be grateful. And we hope that...
And then some, exceeded.
So we want to thank you. We're not here to preach and point a finger at you with your integrity. This is about thanking you for the integrity that you've shown us and the type of people that you are. And so I thank God for that. And that's that's my story, and I'm sticking with it.
And that was our thank you to our online buddies.
Well, Miss Karen, we didn't put on any hats today. Miss Karen likes it when I either rip papers apart, and we're very sober, sober and somber.
Yes, we're a little, like I said, we've been gearing up for this whole conference, so we're, like they said this morning, you know, if you see like bloodshot eyes and we're not quite as perky, it's been gearing up, and then now we've got a full week. They've even extended, I mean, even as he's yawning already. It actually starts tomorrow morning, and we're already thinking, oh Lord, we just take a nap.
We're going to be going to bed early tonight.
I do want to remind everybody, we are, like I said, give us grace if we don't get it, but we are going to try to do our good teaching on Wednesday night. It's amazing when you study the Word. I read every morning, and I think Wednesday night, you know, that midweek thing, you just need to hear some truth and honesty. So like I said, bear with us, but we are going to try to get a Bible study online for you.
And remember this, we're here to motivate and inspire you to stay into the Word. We are here to, you know, point the direction. We are not the direction. And we're here to help and assist. But, you know, let's face it, I belong to a place that's called Affirm, and they help me, and I am 2 pounds away from hitting my 70 pounds. But they pointed the way to help me to lose weight. I'm myself and my wife and my daughter, we're the ones who did the hard work of losing the weight. So it's, you know, it's the same thing with yourself. We're going to point the direction, but I can't make you read the Word. I can't make you believe. I can't be responsible for how you behave. And you just had the light go on, and what were you going to say?
Well, no, I was just going to say, we watched a movie, and there was the great line in there, you know, the choices you make and the integrity, and you mentioned about the diet, and it is simple. He said it's very simple, but it's also very hard.
It's very hard to stay in the Word. It's very hard when people say things about you not to get all bent out of shape. It's very hard when things are going bad to not lose your faith. And this is why, you know, we're better together. We stick together, we encourage each other and build each other up. And when we don't meet the expectation, we've got to give each other grace. That's all we can do. And because we're all trying to do the best we can with the information that we have. But you know, the Bible says in Galatians 6:9, don't get discouraged in doing good. In due time you will reap a reward. And you know, maybe for some of you, your reward is next week, maybe it's next weekend, maybe it's a month from now, maybe it's a year from now. And there's some of you right now, you know what, maybe your reward is not on this side. Maybe your faithfulness to your wife, your husband, or whatever it's be, maybe your reward is not going to be in this life, but it's going to be in the life hereafter. But I will tell you this, God is God, and He doesn't lie. You will be rewarded for all the stuff that you've gone through. So don't get discouraged in doing good, and do all you can to keep your integrity. So thanks for watching us this week. This is a good news show. My name's Pastor Rick, and this is my lovely wife, Cheryl, and she's going to end, and she's going to go to her camera with us, as we normally do, and end with this wonderful, beautiful prayer.
Yes. Yes, as always, our closing prayer will appear on the screen so that you can read along with me. God, your word we have hidden in our hearts that we might not sin against you. For it teaches us to do justly, to love mercy, to walk humbly before you. Even when it brings about hurtful circumstances, help us to do the right thing in keeping with the Christ-filled nature we received upon the day of our salvation. May we not be found lacking in integrity, but rather be characterized by our integrity as it honors my Father in heaven. In Jesus' name we pray, amen. And
put up this slide here so we both say it. We say, here's a slide.
Have a happy and safe 4th of July.
Be careful with fireworks and watch your eyes and don't get your house on fire.
Eat lots of good food, but not too much.
And now
remember,
our closing statement, both say it together.
Believe there is good in the world and be the good.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
God bless you.